gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on Text 2 Cents, Episode 3. After some technical difficulties, we are back to business, and we got a lot to cover here, so let's get to it. On July 19th, New Omega Wrestling presented Collision 24. Now, the show seemed to break all boundaries, all borders, as we kicked off the show with T. Summers coming out to announce that he was done with the group known as Era. He was done with the tag titles that he co-held with Matt Zahn. He vacated the belts, but not before he had awarded Chris Reckless and Death Toll new tag team champions. He then walked out on the group. Now, myself and Havoc, Crimson Pain, we had come out and announced that we had never gotten our rematch for the tag titles after we had lost them to Zahn and Summers. So we demanded our match against Death Toll and Reckless right there at Collision 24. So for the first time ever, Chris Reckless and Death Toll are teaming up as a cohesive unit. The two teams, myself and Havoc, Reckless and Death Toll, brawled it out over the NOW tag titles, ending with a little miscommunication between the new tag team champions, leading for myself and Havoc to pick up a victory to become three-time New Omega Wrestling Tag Team Champions. So directly after the tag match, Jimmy Hernandez had laid out a challenge to G-Bang Bullet in a singles match. The best ref in the biz was able to take G-Bang to his limits and pick up a pinfall victory over Bullet. Frost had come out, as usual, to talk about himself, but in an unexpected manner. This time, he had said that he was a changed man. He said that he realized his faults about what he's been doing over the past few years, and he wanted to call out two men that have beaten him consecutively over the past three events. He called out myself and Havoc, saying that he wanted to shake our hands. He said that he talked a lot about respect, but how are you going to earn respect if you keep getting beat over and over again? So he came out and shook our hands. A-Rock, apparently unknown to him, had come out and voiced his opinion, questioning Frost, and Frost just told him to calm down. Not quite sure where Frost is leading with this. The two went backstage, apparently to talk out their differences, as you'll see later. In our next match, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line. Death Toll put his belt in a triple threat against Andrew 3000 and Chris Reckless. Now, the three had battled it out, absolutely beating each other up and down the ring, around the ring. It was absolutely crazy. Ultimately leading in the IC title #1 contender, Andrew 3000, picking up a pinfall victory, becoming New Omega Wrestling Intercontinental Champion. New Omega Wrestling Extreme Champion Havoc put his belt on the line against the newest rookie to the roster, Kevin Marshall, in what was Kevin Marshall's biggest match in his career to date so far. Havoc took Marshall to limits that Marshall hadn't previously seen, probably didn't prepare for. Havoc was able to retain his belt over Marshall in the Extreme Rules match. After the match, surprisingly, Willow had come out and attacked Havoc as Havoc was just about ready to celebrate with his title and laid Havoc out. Willow had grabbed the Extreme title, left ringside, walked up the ramp holding the belt. It was pretty strange to say the least. Now, T. Summers had laid out a challenge to Rebel, our New Omega Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, in a non-title singles match, with the stipulation being that if Summers could defeat Rebel in the singles match, Summers would become the new #1 contender for Rebel's belt. Now, this is the first time Rebel and Summers had had a chance to go one-on-one and battle it out in New Omega Wrestling. The two had gone at it for quite a while, ultimately leading up to Summers gaining a pinfall victory over the Rebel to become New Omega Wrestling Heavyweight Champion #1 contender. For our main event, upon hearing about the tag titles changing hands earlier in the show, Nick Fleury had scheduled myself and Havoc, Crimson Pain, to put the tag titles on the line against Bomb Squad. Now, this is KP's second tag match of the night. In a competitive matchup, both of the teams went at it, not knowing if Bomb Squad was going to be able to work on the same page after Frost's change there. Crimson Pain was able to pick up a victory over Bomb Squad. with their first tag title defense, ending off Collision 24. On August 9, 2009, New Omega Wrestling celebrated its 25th installment of its Collision series. NOW presented Collision 25, and we kicked off the show with Detto claiming his rematch against Intercontinental Champion Andrew 3000 for the IC title. Now, the two had battled it out. They had brawled before the match started. They had brawled during the match. Andrew 3000 had a footprint from Detto on his forehead. After we thought Detto had a clear victory coming up, when he hooked Andrew 3000 for his finisher, A3K was able to roll up Detto, gaining a pinfall victory over the former IC champ, claiming his first IC title defense since winning the title. Frost had laid out a challenge to a man that he shook hands with at the previous show, Havoc, to a singles match. Now, halfway through the match, Willow had come out, sat ringside, and observed the match that was going on inside the ring. Frost and Havoc went one-on-one, ultimately leading up to Willow getting on the ring apron, hanging Havoc up, causing Frost to be able to roll up Havoc for a 3 count. Now, after the match was over, Willow had gotten in the ring, attacking Havoc. Havoc was able to get a little comeback, but Willow was still walked away with the Extreme title in his hands. Now, sources have been saying that Willow is making a challenge to Havoc for the Extreme title, but we're going to have to see what happens in future shows. In an Event Alpha 3 rematch, Chris Reckless and Mike Falcon took to the ring to once again just demolish each other. These two are known for absolutely bringing everything physical to a match that is possible. The two ended up on the outside of the ring, and Falcon had got disqualified after hitting Chris Reckless with a chair, leaving Chris Reckless victorious in the match. Now, for our main event, still yet unseen and not really heard from, Nick Florian scheduled yet another tag title main event, putting myself and Havoc, Crimson Pain, and our tag titles on the line against T. Summers and Rebel. Now, T. Summers had started off the match pretending to be Rebel's friend, pretending that he was there for Rebel, and that Summers and Rebel would become new tag team champions. Now, at the previous show, Summers had defeated Rebel to become #1 contendership, so we knew right there the team would be working on the same page. Now, after Summers had played games with Rebel throughout the entire match, Rebel finally got fed up and not only delivered 1, but 2 Rebel cutters, laying out T. Summers incapacitated in the ring, giving myself and Havoc a chance to hit the Event Horizon and a pinfall victory to retain our tag titles at Collision 25. And Collision 25 are in the record books. Now we look forward. We look into the future of New Omega Wrestling. Collision 26 is going to take place August 29th, 2009 at 4 p.m. It's definitely going to be something that you don't want to miss, because after Collision 26 is Battle for Glory. Now, first off, I want to thank you personally on behalf of New Omega Wrestling for helping our YouTube channel, youtube.com/New Omega Wrestling, reach 10,000 video views as of today. So thank you very much for everyone commenting, rating, and watching our videos on YouTube. Also, remember, you could follow New Omega Wrestling's every step on twitter.com/New Omega 05. Also, don't forget, you can watch complete New Omega Wrestling events on newomegawrestling.com. Just click the little high voltage TV banner and you can watch all the shows for yourself. New Omega Wrestling's got a contest coming up where you can win yourself, anywhere across the United States, you can win yourself a free Event Alpha 3 2-disc DVD set. We actually have it right here sitting for you. Set. Win your free copy. Go find us on myspace.com/New Omega Wrestling. There's a blog with all the details and information about that. You're going to want to check that out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here. Thanks for the wait. We've got more coming for you. That's it. Thank you very much.